What's up, fellow coders? Welcome to another exciting adventure in Quick Tech Tutorials. We'll make it quick. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back. Today what I'm going to go over is a methodology that you guys can use to more reliably determine what country your user's in. And what we're going to use is the actual carrier information from a framework that we're going to pull in here in just a second within iOS. Now, what this framework ultimately has for us is a mobile country code, mobile network codes, and an ISO code. It also has a carrier name, and I'll show you that information here shortly. Here are the two URLs that I use to get this information. These files, feel free to use. So here I have this file which has the actual name of the country, a 2-letter and a 3-letter ISO. Here is the mobile country code, and then it's followed by a series of mobile network codes. So each country code is going to be unique. Here you can see for Afghanistan it's 412, Algeria is 603. Now the mobile network codes are going to be unique within the country, but they're not going to be unique overall. So for example, a mobile network code here in Afghanistan of 88, for if we go to Angola, it may have a country code of 631, but it could have a mobile network code of 88, and that would be whatever carrier is specific to that country. So the framework that we're going to use from iOS, it will give us the 2-letter country code, it will give us the mobile country code, and it will give us the corresponding network code as well. In addition to that, it's going to give us the name of the carrier, and all that is, for example, if we see country code 310, which is the United States, mobile carrier of 990, the ENMR Telephone Corp. Now there are a few that I couldn't find. For example, in the country code of 310, United States, 080, I know it exists. I just couldn't find the carrier name for it. So again, when you go to put this out in an enterprise, make sure that if you're going to use these files, again, you're more than welcome to. Just make sure you get everything squared away with some of the unknowns. But anyways, this is for the tutorial. I will go over what we're going to need to look at most of this stuff. And what I'm going to be using this tutorial for is uniquely identifying the currency of the current country that they're in. You may use this for the laws of the country or the government information of the country or a whole multitude of things, but you don't need to use locale or geolocation information, which can get complex. What we're going to use instead is a framework provided by iOS, and that framework that we're going to use is the core telephony. It's a strange word. I'm never going to be able to say it properly anyways. So right there, we're going to go ahead and bring that in. And I've also brought in one class that I've already developed. And let's just go over this really quick. So as we're going through the rest of the tutorial, you kind of see what we're talking about. Anytime that I'm going to use any of the information, obviously I want to import that framework. And in particular, what we're looking at for the framework that we're going to use is the carrier information. And what the carrier information is going to provide us, it's the carrier name, the mobile country code, the ISO country code. Again, this is the 2-letter abbreviation, not the 3-letter abbreviation, and the mobile network code. And we'll get into this information here shortly. The only thing I want to point out for this demo, like I said, I'm going to be just demonstrating how to get the local currency. Again, you can use this for anything you want, whatever database you have for laws, government, doesn't matter, traffic patterns, whatever. I'm just going through, I'm reading the currency file, and it's really not a comma separated file, it's a colon separated file. And here I just put the information into a dictionary, which is just a dictionary of 2 strings, and that each key is the 2-letter ISO abbreviation followed by the currency type. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my storyboard really quick, and it's going to be really simple, some labels and a button. And let me go ahead and do that really quick. Okay, so now I have my storyboard set up. I have all my outlets and actions configured. So the next thing that I want to do is actually go through and show you guys how we're going to get the information that we need off our core telephony framework. First thing I'm going to do, obviously, is import it. Now, I'm just going to paste in some code really quick, and then we'll go over it and talk about it so everyone sees exactly what's going on. Okay, so let's talk about what I've done so far. Pretty basic stuff here. I've just created a type alias. Well, first, obviously, I imported it. Then I created a type alias. And what I created this type alias for is we will get a notification whenever our carrier info updates. So this could be whether or not the country code updated or the network code updated, or could be virtually anything that changed on that. But in particular, what we would be looking at is when the country code changed, we will get called back into this delegate or this notifier. So that's all I've done so far. Just created a type, obviously created a variable of that type, and then I just set the notification to the notification that I'll get when the carrier changes. So let's go ahead and actually set up and get this information off of our framework really quick. And again, I'm just going to copy and paste something in. Okay, so the only thing that I pasted in so far is I created this function for configure country info, and I've actually gone in and got the information off the network. So now I have my network information, and now I've actually set up the callback notification. So now when the carrier info actually updates, I will actually get called into this method. Now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this immediately on view did load. Obviously, for an enterprise level app, you're going to want to do this within a thread perhaps, or a better location than view did load. But for demo purposes for this tutorial, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. The next thing I'm going to do is actually go ahead and create my country info variable, and I'm just going to make that a lazily loaded variable. So let's copy and paste that in really quick. Okay, so here I've just pasted in this country info, which is the class that I put together earlier. And I've set the carrier of that class to the cellular provider that we've actually gotten off the out of the framework for the telephony network information. So this is the actual carrier, and let's go ahead and jump into the country info because that's where most of the stuff happens. So in here, we can see that we have the information for currency data. Now the currency data, if we come back in here, we'll just notice it's a colon separated file, no big deal there. And all I'm doing is running through that information, reading in the file, reading it in line by line, separating out the tokens based on the colon. So I have basically a string for a key value, and the key is the 2-letter ISO, and then the value is the name of the currency. So no big deal there. That's pretty basic, straightforward stuff that you guys should be familiar with reading in files. The interesting stuff here happens within this carrier. Now the carrier, like I said, has the carrier name, the country code, the ISO code, in this case the 2-letter ISO code, as well as the mobile network code. We're going to use that information to determine exactly what country our users currently in, and in this case we're just going to simply use it to properly identify what currency they should be using. For your app, it could be who knows what, laws, government, traffic laws, whatever it may be. But this is definitely a way to determine the country, and you can choose whatever you want from there. So it's it's pretty straightforward. Really not a whole lot of code for getting the information out at all. Pretty much 2 lines, and then I just set up this type myself. No big deal. So let's go ahead and just get some information that we can see and look at it from a storyboard point of view. So let me go ahead and set that up really quick. Okay, so when the actual button is tapped, then all it's going to do is just display the information that we have from our carrier that we've gotten from our telephone network info. And in order for me to start this up, I'm going to have to start up another QuickTime view here, just simply because you are going to have to run this on a real device. If you run this on the emulator, you still get information and won't complain, but everything that you get back in your carrier information will all be nil. So when you see this information right here for the country code, ISO code, if you run this on an emulator, it's going to be nil. So give me 1 second, I'll start that up. Okay, so here you can see I have the QuickTime video for my actual device. I'm going to go ahead and just tap the button now. And you can see that we have the mobile country code 311, mobile network code, the country, and our currency is dollar. Now the one thing I want to just demonstrate really quick here so everyone understands where the difference falls for the information that we're getting off the carrier and the information we get out of the locale. I'm just going to do a quick print up here. Let me stop it and run it again. Okay, and here we have the country as US, but you can see that my locale is actually set to Australia. So obviously, if we're just looking at the locale, it's going to be incorrect. It's by the fact that they both use dollars. But if you're doing something else for government or traffic laws or who knows what else, that would obviously be incorrect. So the only other thing that I want to point out in this tutorial, why I have that commented out, is just whenever the carrier changes, I'll get new carrier and then I do whatever it is that you want to do. But anyways, this is all that you really need to determine the country of your user. Hopefully this helps somebody out there with at least maybe a new idea. Certainly not complex, but maybe just a new idea on how to reliably go about getting this information. So anyways, let me know down in the comments what you think. Let me know what else you'd like me to get out on this channel. And if you like the concept of a 15-minute or less tutorial, by all means, subscribe and let me know. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone.